Namaste, and welcome back to Typical Monk. Today we look inside the human body, the male and female systems, how gametes are made, the monthly cycle, and the journey from fertilization to birth. All in simple language, and drilled the neat way too. One idea at a time. Here is today's path. 5 stops. First, the male reproductive system. Second, the female reproductive system. Third, gametogenesis, that is, how the sperm and egg are made. Fourth, the menstrual cycle, fertilization, and pregnancy. And fifth, NEET drills, that is, assertion, match, and statement. First, let's understand the male reproductive system. The testes lie in the scrotum, outside the body. This keeps them cooler, which sperm formation needs. Each testis has about 250 testicular lobules. Each lobule holds 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules, where sperms are made. Their walls carry spermatogonia, that is germ cells, and Sertoli cells that nourish them. Between the tubules lie the interstitial cells, that is the Leydig cells. They secrete testosterone, that is androgens. Sperm travel out through the epididymis, vas deferens, and urethra. The glands, seminal vesicles, prostate, and bulbourethral add seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose. Now, the female reproductive system. The ovaries are the primary female organs. They release the ovum and make estrogen and progesterone. The oviduct, that is the fallopian tube, runs a funnel-shaped infundibulum with fimbriae. Then the ampulla, the site of fertilization, and then the isthmus, which opens into the uterus. The uterus, that is the womb, has an inner glandular endometrium that changes each month. Below it, the cervix opens into the vagina. The mammary glands are accessory organs, paired glands whose alveoli make milk during lactation. Now how the gametes are made. Gametogenesis. Spermatogenesis begins at puberty. A spermatogonium forms a primary spermatocyte, which by meiosis gives 4 haploid sperms. A sperm has a head, that is the acrosome, and nucleus, a middle piece, packed with mitochondria that give energy, and a tail. Oogenesis begins back in fetal life. Primary oocytes form and are arrested in prophase 1 until puberty. One primary oocyte finishes meiosis, one to become a secondary oocyte, arrested in metaphase 2. It completes meiosis 2 only when a sperm enters, forming one ovum and polar bodies. Now, the monthly cycle. The menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is about 28 days, run by 4 hormones, Esh and Da from the pituitary, and estrogen and progesterone from the ovary. The menstrual phase, days 1 to 5. The endometrium breaks down and flows out, and this happens only if the egg was not fertilized. The follicular phase, as she grows a follicle and estrogen thickens the endometrium, a mid-cycle air surge triggers ovulation around day 14. The luteal phase, the follicle becomes the corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone. If there is no pregnancy, it degenerates and the cycle restarts. Now the beginning of a new life. From fertilization to implantation. Fertilization happens in the ampulla. The sperm's acrosome releases enzymes. One sperm enters the ovum, and the 2 nuclei fuse into a diploid zygote. The sperm decides the baby's sex. An X-bearing sperm gives a girl, and a Y-bearing sperm gives a boy. The zygote divides by cleavage, first into a morula, then a hollow blastocyst with an inner cell mass and an outer trophoblast. The blastocyst sinks into the endometrium. This is implantation, and pregnancy begins. The trophoblast and uterine tissue together build a placenta. Now, the high-yield pointers. The facts that NEET turns into questions. 1. Fertilization occurs in the ampulla of the fallopian tube, not in the uterus. 2. The Leydig, that is interstitial, cells make testosterone, and the Sertoli cells nourish the developing sperms. 3. The secondary oocyte is arrested in metaphase 2 and completes meiosis 2 only after a sperm enters. 4. The corpus luteum secretes progesterone, and in pregnancy, heat from the placenta keeps it alive. 5. Colostrum, the first milk, is rich in antibodies, that is eager, passive immunity for the newborn. Now the first drill, assertion and reason. Each time, ask, is it true? Is R true? And does R explain A? First, a fertilization occurs in the ampulla of the fallopian tube. R, the ovum is released into the fallopian tube and meets the sperm there. Both are true, and R correctly explains A, so the answer is A. Second, A, the secondary oocyte completes meiosis before ovulation. R, meiosis 2 is triggered by the entry of a sperm. Here A is false, because the oocyte is arrested in metaphase 2, but A is true. So the answer is D. Third, the corpus luteum secretes progesterone. Progesterone maintains the endometrium for a possible pregnancy. Both are true, and R explains A. So the answer is A. Now, the second drill, match the column. Make the correct pairing. Ampulla, the site of fertilization. Leydig cells, testosterone. Corpus luteum, progesterone. And acrosome, the sperm-penetrating enzymes. Now the third drill. How many of these statements are correct? Check them one by one. First, fertilization occurs in the ampulla of the fallopian tube. This is correct. Second, the zygote is haploid. This is wrong. Third, Sertoli cells nourish the developing sperms. This is correct. So the correct statements, 2, that is, the first and the third. Now let's clear the mistakes students fall for. Myth, fertilization takes place in the uterus. Truth, it takes place in the ampulla of the fallopian tube. The embryo only later implants in the uterus. Myth, oogenesis begins at puberty, like spermatogenesis. Truth, oogenesis begins in fetal life. The oocytes then wait, arrested, until puberty. Now test yourself. Answer each one before it is revealed. Answer first. That is how you build strong NEET recall. Question 1. Where does fertilization occur? Answer. The ampulla of the fallopian tube. Question 2. Which cells secrete testosterone? The Leydig, that is interstitial, cells. Question 3. The secondary oocyte is arrested at which stage? Metaphase 2. Question 4. Which hormone does the corpus luteum secrete? Progesterone. Question 5. What is the antibody-rich first milk called colostrum? Let's gather it all in one breath. The testes make sperms, the Leydig cells make testosterone. The ovaries make the ovum, and fertilization occurs in the ampulla. Spermatogenesis gives 4 sperms, oogenesis gives 1 ovum and polar bodies. The menstrual cycle, menstrual, follicular, ovulation, luteal, is run by LF-estrogen and progesterone. From zygote to morula, then blastocyst, then implantation, building the placenta and pregnancy. In the next class, keeping it healthy, reproductive health. See there. From gametes to a newborn. The whole story of human reproduction is now yours. Be proud. One idea at a time, with a calm mind, and you will crack NEET. This is Typical Monk. Every class, always free.